episode 29 of the Dead Drop Podcast. 29 episodes. Holy crap, that's a lot. So, here's to continuing to talk and having you folks listen in, tune in, watch, all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. So last Saturday was my 51st birthday. So I am officially, as my wife likes to put it, well into my 50s, which I don't agree with, but we'll see where that goes. I'm just adjusting the mic here. I had a wonderful birthday. My wife and two sons were extremely generous with me. Got some cool stuff, cool books, and so forth. Had a pretty kick-ass, amazing meal on Saturday night. Did a lot of lounging around, and excuse me for one. Well, that was annoying. Just had to clear my throat there right off the bat. Right off the bat into the podcast, and I'm already clearing my throat. Sorry about that. But anyway, as I was saying, had an amazing meal. Did a nice veal parmesan from a local Italian restaurant that was utterly amazing. Had a good bottle of wine with it, Miraval, which is just a fantastic rosé that I wish I didn't like this. I wish I actually did not like this wine because it's owned by like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and they're the last people on earth that need any more money. But damn, the stuff is good. So got to give it to them. It's not any personal animosity towards them. It's just that, I'd rather support a winery that, is less than backed by multi-millionaires. That sort of thing. But so I went out early on to get the food on Saturday. Came back and my sons had decorated the house very nicely for me, including my new personal favorite inflatable, the awesome shark that you see on the screen right now. This is my favorite. This is going to be in my office here for a long time. I just have to figure out how to rig it up on my wall, but that's definitely a very, very cool thing. Today had some really cool mail come in a couple of weeks back. A company called Particle, which makes a lot of skincare products for men, contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in doing some photo shoots with some of their projects and basically doing the influencer thing. And I said, sure. So the products came in today, and I just unboxed them on a video that I'll post a little bit later. But here's the first one. It is, what is this one? Face cream, daily care. So looking forward to checking that out. Also, face wash cleanser, another daily care type thing. And then the third thing is a weekly care face mask, deep cleanser. I'm really looking forward to checking this out. So be on the lookout for those posts on my social media because I'll be talking about it. And I'm always interested in trying really good skincare products, especially as we get older and especially since the seasons are changing right now as we speak. And I need to make sure that I keep everything hydrated and looking as good as it can look for 51 years old. So, what has been going on in terms of the acting? So, let's see. I think I mentioned last week that I got a copy of the entire movie script, which was really cool. Came in with a nice big watermark diagonally across with my name on it, which was actually really cool. I have to get that printed out, and that'll definitely go into either a frame or some type of commemorative thing, since this is my first feature film, my first SAG project. I'm really excited about it. Excuse me. Today, the second assistant director, a very nice woman named Alyssa, contacted me about COVID-19 testing, which is obviously a big deal when we're talking about productions getting back off the ground and ramping up here in Massachusetts and pretty much everywhere. So I will be doing that test on Friday, and I assume either Monday or Tuesday I'm going to have another thing to do with the movie. I'll be getting fitted for my wardrobe that I'll be wearing when we're on set a week from this Friday. So that'll be happening as well, so I'll be sure to fill you in on how that goes on next week's episode. And the shoot date is Friday, November 6th, which I think we've talked about before. It was originally the 3rd, and I'm really glad that it is actually on the 6th, because on November 3rd, I am going to vote. And hopefully a whole crap ton of you are going to vote as well and get our country back from the brink of ruin that it now stands close to becoming. So, what else? So that's all the stuff on Mother Android for right now. Another friend of mine actually went down and filmed, and she had an absolute blast. She said it was... And she's been on other movies before, so I'm looking to her for, like, I bounce all my questions off of her about what's going on. She's awesome, very talented actor in her own right, and she's got a nice role in this movie as well. So she had her shoot date last week, earlier this week. No, it was this week. Yeah, it was earlier this week. I think on Monday she was down there. So she was just simply saying that she had a great time, that everybody on set is just amazing, and we're gonna get together and compare notes on it next week after I have my shoot date, and I'm super excited about it. She posted a picture of her standing outside of her trailer, so I have no idea if I'm getting a trailer or not. I may not. I don't know. Like all of you, I'm finding this out as we go along through it. It would be pretty cool if I did. I'm not gonna lie, I got a big old smile on my face right now just thinking about this, but not bad for somebody that fell into doing all this stuff about 6 years ago this month. So yeah, you never know where life's gonna take you, but the important thing is to never put any expectations on it and say to yourself, I can't do that, I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm not enough this, or whatever. The important thing is to just say, you know what, fuck it, let's just go for it. Because if it doesn't happen, at least you tried, and if it does happen, you've just opened yourself up to a whole crap load of new experiences and new opportunities that, you know, could mean a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of other stuff. You never know. So that is it on Mother Android. I am still waiting to hear back, and I don't know if I ever will. I mean, if I don't book the role in the new movie Don't Look Up, I probably won't hear anything on it. The deadline for auditions for that was last Monday. So we're at about, 10 days beyond that. I went back and I looked at how long it took to get a decision on my Mother Android audition, and it was about 2.5 weeks after I sent that in that I found out that I actually booked the role. And I know that Don't Look Up is starting to film, I believe, November 16th. So there's still, there's still the possibility that I could book the role. We'll see. And again, if I didn't book the role, then it's just more practice for the next audition. That's the way I look at all this stuff. Had 2 Zoom auditions for commercials up in northern New England over the last 2 days. That was actually kind of cool. This was actually the first time I've called in on a Zoom and had to audition in front of the actual people who were doing the casting. So that was a new experience as well. I mean, this is life in coronavirus, 2020. But those were cool. So one of them, the one I had today, said that we would be hearing by the end of the week, which I thought was really cool of him to say, we'll let you know one way or the other if you book this or not. And then yesterday's, I don't know. We'll see. That shoot date's coming up pretty quick though, so I should know fairly soon if I book that or not. And again, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Just prior to my Zoom call yesterday, my agent reached out to me, excuse me, and said, are you available for a last minute job? Because I had somebody bail on me and he had to find a replacement for it real quick. Unfortunately, I would have had to get to the shoot location super quickly, and the location is an easy hour away from my house. And I had the audition coming up anyway, and production could not push the time that they needed me there. I mean, they needed me there like stat. So I had to turn that down. But it was, it's always interesting that these things will pop up. And I mean, models and actors are like everybody else. We're all human. Some people get sick and other things come up, family emergencies and stuff. We can't always be there. Fortunately, I've never had to cancel on a shoot. It's not something I intend to do ever, if it can possibly be helped. But it was interesting to get that call, and unfortunately, I couldn't do it. I would have. It looked like a fun project. It was for a mask company, and would have been a good thing to do given the current state of affairs that we are in this world right now. But that is about it. That's kind of a catch up on everything that I've been doing for acting since we last spoke last week. A little bit busier this week than it was last week. I don't know if that's the start of a new trend. These things, they tend to go up and down, busy, dead, this, that, and the other thing. So we will see where that goes. And I will be back after this quick break. All right, so let's talk about what's going on the writing front. The Estranged, the new Lawson Vampire short story, which is actually a longer story, but it's still a short story because of how I structure all this stuff, will be out this coming Saturday, Halloween the 31st. And I've still got a lot of work to do on it, so I've got to put the pedal down to the floor and get this thing done. The cover is done. I have not posted the completed cover. I gave you a hint on my social media. So if you're on Instagram, check out Jon F. Merz Official or Jon F. Merz Books. And if you're on Facebook, check it out over there. You'll get a quick glimpse of the cover of the novel. We've got Brandon Stumpf back on the cover again because he will be playing Lawson in the TV series. And he's a fantastic cover model for the books and the stories and the novellas as well. The shoot itself, or the cover itself, I should say, takes place in a very famous building here in Boston. And I managed to find a photographer who could, basically just duck in real quick and take a couple of really cool shots and then shoot those over to me. So we've got Brandon sort of in front of a nice arched window, and he looks great. So I'm excited about that. But that will be coming out on Halloween night. So if you are stuck at home on Halloween night, and maybe you're a little tired of all the horror movies that you've been watching, maybe you haven't gotten a ton of kids coming to the door begging for candy, and you're just in the mood for something else, check it out. It's going to be available in all the usual places, and this part of it takes place on Halloween, so when you read it on Halloween, you will actually be right there in the story on Halloween with Lawson, and it's going to be fun. I had a good time writing this one. It's an editing phase right now, an expedited editing phase versus what I normally do, but because I wanted to get it out to you guys on Halloween night, I had to speed things up just a bit in terms of the usual production schedule. I am still working on Stringer, basically because I've been hauling ass on The Estranged. I had to push Stringer back a little bit, but that is now it's actually the fifth. That's actually the fifth Night Fright story that'll be coming out, and it's the fifth because I've got a special story video release for Night Frights that's going to be happening on Halloween night as well. So that story became number 2, and that pushed Stringer to number 5. I still have to finish the story. I haven't finished the first draft of it yet, but I'm having a blast with it. As I said, I just haven't worked on it a whole lot lately because I've been focused on The Estranged. So I need to get back into that this next week and make sure that gets done. Hunter's Moon is the name of the story that we're going to be reading for Night Frights that will release on Halloween night. So again, if you are bored with horror movies, I know, but some people get bored, it's all right. You can tune into YouTube and you'll see a complete Night Frights episode, we are not breaking this up into 5 segments. It's going to be a one-shot deal through and through. You'll get the complete story on Halloween night. You can watch that. Probably, I would estimate it'd probably be about 30 to 40 minutes in length. We're going to be filming that over the next day or so. And when you're done with that, you can go out and you can pick up the new Lawson story and read that to your heart's content. So, you know, not a bad way to spend Halloween. You get the Night Frights thing. You get the new Lawson. POUNDCAKE over on YouTube, and we'll talk about this in a bit, is going to have a whole playlist of stuff that you can tune in for and check out, and there'll be some surprises and this, that, and the other thing. So you can do that. You can go to Spotify and you can check out our playlists. We're under POUNDCAKE out there. We're going to make a couple of playlists public, and you can put the playlists on. You can put a fire on. You get yourself a nice drink or a nice bottle of drink. That's fine too. And sit back and relax. You can watch the Night Frights thing. You can read Lawson. You can go back to YouTube and watch the POUNDCAKE playlist. You know, not a bad Halloween, all things considered, right? We're trying to give you guys some stuff. I'm trying to make sure that you have some stuff to take your mind off of what's been going on and what's potentially coming down the pike. So yeah, so we're excited about that. And then we will also be launching the second 5-part series of Night Frights in the coming week or 2 weeks. I'm not sure when we're going to get the first episode of that out. But that will be for the story The Witch of Vine Brook, which is another story that is taking place here in my town of Medfield, Massachusetts. And again, I set this one in the past a little bit just because it seemed to fit sort of a colonial era type of story. So we've got that coming out. And after that, I think this will push us probably into December. And then December's story, we'll see. I'm not sure about the timeline on when we're going to release that. It may not make sense to release it before the holidays just because of how busy people usually get around the holidays. But if we do, we'll start it in December and it will carry over into January of 2021. And that story is... why am I blanking on the title here? The Vengeance of Tanu Tanami, I believe. I believe that's the working title. I still have to edit that, so the title may change. I'm not sure. But that will be coming out, and then after that, we'll do Stringer. That should take us easily into February. And that may be it for season 1. That may be it. And then I'll go back in and start writing some new stories for a new season of Night Frights. But we should have, when all is said and done, somewhere around 20 to 21 episodes that you can watch, you know, on YouTube. We're also going to be having these for sale. That's another thing to be on the lookout for. There'll be complete episodes. They won't be, you know, parsed into the 5 that we do on YouTube. We're going to stick them all together, make it a nice downloadable package for you, and they'll be cheap, you know, easy money sort of thing. But it'll be, you know, each story will have its own installment, and you'll be able to buy that and download it and watch it whenever you want. And we're also going to be doing audiobooks. And I think what we're going to do is, instead of releasing these as... well, we're going to release ebooks as the short stories themselves. But I'm going to hold off putting them into print until we have the first season done. And that way, you know, it's a better bang for your buck. We'll have more, you know, it'll be, if I put them out right now, it's going to be this thin little thing that you can't even see. But if I do like season 1 of Night Frights in paperback, it'll look a lot nicer on your bookshelf than the small individual ones. So we're going to do that. So that'll probably be out in a good couple of months, because I don't want to put the stories out ahead of the actual video. But that'll be something to look forward to as well. And yeah, that's about it on the writing front. So once I get once I get everything off the plate, then I can continue editing some of the other stuff that's going to be coming out very soon. Novels, Zombie Rue, all sorts of good stuff, and I'm excited about getting that to you guys as well. And let's take another quick break, and we'll be back to wrap it up in just a second. All right, so that is probably going to do it for this week. I actually ran the writing stuff into the production stuff as I was talking about everything that we have planned for Halloween. So I apologize for that if you were looking for the actual third segment of the podcast where I talk about production stuff. That was kind of sort of dovetailed into the writing portion. I apologize. It's just that with Halloween coming up, I get all excited and get all this stuff going on. So we will be back next week to talk about what's been going on Mother Android as I draw ever closer to actually stepping foot on my first feature film. This time next week, I'll have 36 hours to go before I start filming, so it's gonna be really cool. My scene is right in the beginning of the movie, having seen the script now for the first time. So when you see this movie, you're not gonna have to wait very long to see me. My scene is with both of the stars in it, so I don't think that there's much of a chance that it's gonna end up on the cutting room floor, but you never know. But I'm hopeful. So, and again, it's a small role, but I am absolutely over the moon to be involved with it. I can't tell you how exciting it is to actually be on a feature film set. And again, it's my first SAG, it's my first union job. So while the miniseries that I did a couple of years ago was awesome and the people on it were great, loved working with everybody. This feels a little bit, there's more gravitas to it, so to speak. It's a feature film, and if we were living in a perfect world right now, you'd be waiting for it to come out into theaters. I don't know if it's going to get a theatrical release. I mean, given the state of things right now with how movie theaters are basically going under, it could very easily go direct to streaming. I mean, they're talking about doing that with James Bond, for crying out loud. And if they're going to do it with James Bond, the chances are really good that Mother Android is going to go, direct to streaming and probably not have a theatrical release. Which I got to say kind of bums me out a little bit because it would be amazing to go to a movie theater and see this thing and just kind of lean back and snap a quick picture, when I pop up on the screen, or to see the name of the movie up on the marquee would be really, really cool. But that said, this is just simply the world we're living in these days. So movie productions, TV productions have to make adjustments like everything else that's going on right now. I think probably given the fact that the production, I believe, they've been going pretty strong since the start of October. So I would expect that they're probably more than halfway done with the shoot. Depending on how complicated post-production is on this, I would tend to think that we could see it as soon as 6 months from now, but probably maybe next year at this point. Again, depending. I mean, if you've got complicated computer-generated graphics and imagery and all that crazy stuff going on, it could easily push the release, way out. I will say this, the beginning of the movie takes place around a certain holiday, so they may want to hold on to it until that holiday rolls around. I don't know. I don't know how the distribution gods and everything else are going to determine, when this movie actually comes out. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a chance to talk to the director next week. Probably not. He's probably going to be busy doing a crap ton of other stuff, but you never know. But there'll be other people there on set who might have a better idea when the release schedule is, and I will let you guys know as soon as I know what is going on with that. And it'll be interesting to see in the meantime if I hear back on the other feature movie or any of these commercials that I've auditioned for. And barring any unforeseen Hindenburg-like tragedies, I will see you all right back here next week, Wednesday night. Well, Wednesday's when I film it, Thursday's when you see it. Whenever. I will be back here next week to catch you all up on what's going on. Do not forget to vote. Very important. It is your duty as an American citizen to make sure that you vote. And do not send your ballot in. It is too late. If you have an absentee or a mail-in ballot or what have you, fill it out and then carry that thing into an early voting ballot box, or wait until Tuesday and go and drop it off in person. It is no longer safe to mail your ballot in. It will probably not get there in time to be counted. And we've talked about this election before. It is probably the most important one in my lifetime to date. So make sure that you vote. Make sure that we get back to being the country that we should be, not the farce that we've had for the last 4 years. I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all for the happy birthday greetings and well wishes on my social media pages. I really sincerely appreciate it. The Estranged drops on Saturday night. The special Night Frights episode drops on Saturday night. Whole bunch of other stuff over on youtube.com/POUNDCAKE Media will be happening on Halloween. Please check it out, and I will see you next week. You all have a good one. Be good to each other. Take care now.